Crusaders Chiefs.
Game of the round.
Game of the round. Wow, is it?
What's your game of the round?
One or two, I take
Reds Drewer.
No, I'm big. I'm a Waratahs later on. We'll get to that. But we talked about the Crusaders before. It wasn't a great performance from them last week. What do they take out of that game? Or do they just take the points and then move on?
Yeah, I think they just be happy. They got the win, got a bonus point. As sort of mentioned before, I think bonus points will be really important. It has put them on top of the table. I think they've got 2 bonus points now, so they're on 1 more point than what the Brumbies are, I think. So I saw like an interview with Scott Robertson, and he was just like, I'm glad that we sort of stuck it in there, and we finished strong and we did what we had to do. As I said before, there was a couple of guys who probably would have liked to have put their hand up who didn't. But when you see the Crusaders team they've named this week, I think we'll be seeing a very, very different performance from the Crusaders, and I think they might. I don't feel like they've gelled yet. Even in the Highlanders game, they looked really slow for about 60, 65 minutes of the game. Same with that sort of Hurricanes game. They probably only played about 20 really good minutes, so they still managed to get a 10.1. So if they can really put it all together, they've got Cody Taylor starting, they've got Mwanga starting this week. So I'm a bit worried about what could happen here.
Yeah, you mentioned that lineup. Moody, Taylor, Newell, Barrett, Whitelock, Blackadder, Christie, Matera. That's just the forward pack. Hall, Mwanga, Whanganuku, Havili, Enor, Reese, Jordan. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, of the 5, sorry, I just get in there. Of the 5 Crusaders that aren't All Blacks, one of them's Lisa Whanganuku, who will be at some point, you'd imagine. And then they've got, Matera.
Who's an international.
International, yeah. So basically, yeah. And saying that, though, the Chiefs also very, very, very good squad. And the battle of forwards is going to be huge, I think. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 All Blacks in their forward pack themselves. So I think we can experience, look forward to a real tough battle up front.
Yeah, and I guess, Paul, that's probably where the Chiefs need to focus their attention is up forward, because if they want to get into a what's an analogy, a sporting analogy here, maybe a rally out the back, you're definitely leaning the way of the Crusaders when you're looking in the back lines.
Yeah, I guess from a Chiefs point of view, you probably want to play the game right to the letter of the law. Maybe even step over that line every now and then.
A couple of guys in that team that can definitely do that.
Yeah, yes. I think that's how they were successful against the Crusaders when I think Dave Rennie was the coach. And they used to just upset the Crusaders. They used to push them off the Crusaders' game plan because they just used to play it right to the letter of the law. They had a couple of good players, and they've got a couple, as you say, they've got a couple of good players who can do that right now. So I think they have to take the Crusaders out of their game plan and get them playing the Chiefs' way. And so if the Chiefs can do that, then certainly that point start, I think it's 11.5 at the moment, it certainly does look quite attractive. I just think after that poor performance that the Crusaders put on last week, even though the bulk of this team wasn't part of that, I think they'll be very, very keen to put a performance on the board that says to the rest of the competition, yeah, we're here to win, boys.
Yeah, we've just been playing around. This is it.
Yeah, this is where I don't know whether teams do this, whether they look at the draw and they go, right, this is a game here where we put our foot down and we let everyone know that we mean business. So I'm thinking this is a game for the Crusaders to do that. But if the Chiefs are to be successful, I think they've got to get a wee bit niggly, just really a little bit of off-ball stuff. Nothing too outrageous, but just put the Crusaders off their game. they're a chance there.
I like that. More for Nigel. And I think they need to get the ball in the hands of Peter Gustafsson as much as possible.
Yeah,
that guy
he's huge this
is
season.
absolute freak in a good way.
Did you see the video yesterday of like him comparing him to NFL players?
I did, yes.
It was awesome. Yes. If you haven't seen it, I think it's on the Chiefs. I think it's right on their Chiefs Twitter page. Well worth a watch.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really battles I'm really looking forward to. Just the midfield in particular, and Havili up against Tapia and Leonard Brown. Good to see him back starting. And then probably battle of the sevens, I think, for the Crusaders. Tom Christie's been great this season. I think he's still the top sort of tackle, got the highest tackle count in the comp, and he's obviously playing against Sam Cane, so expect some fireworks there. And the second rows as well. The 4 All Black locks playing. So, more I look at it, I think I'm leaning with the Crusaders at the start, but that Chiefs team, wow, and they'll be hurting from last week.
Well, that was going to be my next question. What do they take out of last week? For me, I think they probably go, obviously take the positive and say they should have won that game. They dominated for most of it, and try and feed off that energy into this one. Paul,
probably had some PTSD from last year when they were losing every game by like 1 or 2 points. When they went on that ridiculous run of losses where it was like, I think it was 8 or 9 in a row in the end, but at least 4 or 5 of them were by 1 or 2 points or one score. So they've been there before and they bounced back pretty well from that. So I think they got a win against Crusaders last year as well. So the Crusaders have won 4 of the last 5, and 3 of those wins have been over that line. What is the line now? It was 6.5 yesterday, but I think it might have gone up.
It was 8.5 an hour ago.
Yeah, I think it's still 8.5.
What?
11.5.
11.5.
What's happened?
We go.
Pile on. Paul,
wow. I don't know about that. Back. I was quite keen on 8.5 or 6.5 at least. I was 6.5 yesterday, so is there someone out? I don't know. We'll have a quick look.
Dig deep into rugby Twitter, Rossi, while we Paul, can Bryn Gatland bounce back after last week?
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't have him in the starting lineup, but I probably wouldn't bring him on in the last few minutes either with the game in the balance. I'd probably just let Josh do his thing, go the whole 80, and then bring Bryn back in when they've got a game against maybe Moana Pacifica, or even against the Hurricanes. Bring him in and just let him get his feet back and just gradually get back into the game. But I don't think you want to bring him in late in the game when there's 2 or 3 points in it. That's I think the sort of the memories are just a wee bit too fresh for you to do that.
Have I missed? Where is Josh Ioane? I assume he's out injured.
Is that why the market's moved?
Well, because he hasn't been named though anywhere.
He must be injured, yeah.
He's not on the bench. He's not anywhere. So this team was named that I'm looking at was yesterday. The bookies can't be that slow, surely.
Yeah, because Gatland is playing 10, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not on the All Black rest and rotation policy thing, so
I can't find anything in the short amount of research I've just done here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think when he came off, whether he had a niggle or they just brought Gatland on. Maybe just give him a rest.
Tough scenes if that's where they're at already.
Or maybe he's got the C word.
Keep that under wraps.
11.5 though. I don't know. What side are you leaning on?
I'm tempted to take the Chiefs at plus 11.5.
Same actually. Oh, the Crusaders though.
It was a scary team.